So you already know the drill. Like I said, hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Do want to talk a little bit about some of these undrafted free agents, man. Signed a couple of guys, man. Actually, it's a 6-piece if I remember correctly. Yeah, 6-piece if I remember correctly. Yep. So, or no, excuse me, 7 guys total. But check it out, man. So the first guy, or I'll just name them all, and then we'll talk a little bit more about each of these individuals, and then from there, we'll progress through this thing. But Sebastian Castro is a safety that we signed out of Iowa. Shout out to the Iowa guys, man. We actually got a lot of Iowa guys on our team right now. I don't know if y'all have been peeping that. All right, shout out to Iowa though. JJ Galbraith, tight end that we got out of South Dakota. Then I know some of y'all were hollering about punters. All right, punters in the first round. We want a punter. We want a punter. We did not sign a punter, but we signed a kicker. All right, shout out to the kicker Ben Sauls. Nicely kicked, and actually he was a kicker at Pitt, University of Pitt, man. So shout out to Pitt, hell to Pitt, H2P, and all that good stuff. Then from there, man, Rock Taylor, the wide receiver out of Memphis, big body, come on now, like a 6'4", thing. All right, then from there, man, DJ Thomas Jones, the fullback. I'm going to call him an H-back out of South Alabama. Can't wait to talk about that guy. Aiden Williams had me over here scouring the earth looking for Minnesota Duluth film. All right, but shout out to Aiden Williams. He played tackle out at Minnesota Duluth. More than likely will be transitioning to the guard position. And then last but certainly not least, in terms of undrafted free agent signings that the Steelers had in their initial releasing, was Keyshawn Williams, the wide receiver from Indiana. Quick slot guy. So yeah, let's talk about these dudes though, man. When you're talking Sebastian Castro, I have him profiled as a safety / slot / teamer, right? And the reason I say that is this. At Iowa, he was a strong safety, but he played a lot of the slot on passing downs, possession downs, which we know obviously at the slot position, that's Beanie Bishop, that's Cam Sutton, and the past was Mike Kilton. So he played there. Very productive player at Iowa, playing that position. Physical. I love the technique. I love the hand placement. I love all of the understanding what is happening around him, and that allows him to play a lot faster. The issue that I have with him, or the questions that I'm going to have with him, is he is more of a tweener to me at, I gotta sneeze. Oh man, but to me at this stage, he's more of a tweener, right? So when you're talking about, where he is going to fully profile at, I don't necessarily think that, he's going to be all the way fast enough at the free safety spot. And we'll have some science questions about him playing at the strong safety spot, because actually that's a Deshaun Elliott type who's just a lot bigger. But the corner position, I think it could be a unique element for him because of his physicality, because of his ability to play zone concepts, but also be a good blitzer as well. So I think that that's going to be the intriguing part for him. If he's going to be quick enough to play in that slot, or if not the quickest, can he show that he profiles as a high level defender against the run? I think those are going to be the things that are going to help Sebastian potentially carve out a role on this team. But more importantly, I see his immediate impact being special teams. Athletic, good size, physical, and plays extremely hard. You watch him on plays where, he's not even getting the ball. It's on defense and they create a turnover, and he's sprinting down the grass trying to get a block for somebody. You like those type of things because it shows that he's not a selfish player. It shows that he's the type of player that is ultimately going to be trying to do whatever it takes for the team to win. A guy that just wants to have his hand in the pile. So to me, I like those type of guys. And that's something that I'm definitely intrigued about, seeing how Sebastian plays out at this level. All right. So shout out to Sebastian. All right. Or Sebastian Castro. Put some respect on his last name. All right. The next one I have is JJ Galbraith, man, the tight end out of South Dakota. Good size on him, 6'4", athletic, pass catching, very productive player at South Dakota. Over the 1,000-yard mark multiple times, man, from the receiving standpoint. I think he was very athletic for the tight end position. Obviously, he was playing at South Dakota, so it's a little bit stepped down from a overall just talent on the field, NFL-wise. But to me, I thought that he looked the part. I thought that he looked like the better athlete on the field. He looked like a guy that could play up at the next level. And to me, I think that his athleticism, his pass catching ability are going to be the things that are going to be his saving grace early, because to me, I think he's really going to have to improve on his blocking. At this level, it's more than just effort. It's effort and technique. And I think that he's going to have to work on both of those things in that specific area if he wants to really carve out a role, because the alternative is, if you're not a good blocker at this level, you have to be an elite pass catcher, an elite receiver at this level to carve out a role at the tight end spot. And my only concern is, will he be able to have all the production that he had at South Dakota translate to this level? Now, I think he's going to have a chance, but we will see, because obviously we know the guys are a lot more athletic at this level than what he was facing at college. So we will see how that plays out for him. But like I said, I definitely like the profile that he has. You know what I mean? He's more of a Pat Frymouth than a Darnell Washington or even a Michael Pruitt. And I think that it's important that we understand the difference, because we got another guy that we signed a little bit later who profiles a little bit on the other side of those tight ends type things, man. All right. From there, though, Ben Sauls, the kicker out of Pitt, hell to Pitt. Now, listen, man, this dude's been kicking at Pitt since 2020, man. So he has had a lot of experience at, I think it's been Acrisure the whole time since 2020, but actually, no. He's had some Hines and some Acrisure, all right? So we like him a lot, man. But he's appeared in 53 games, connected over in 52 of 64 field goal attempts. That's over 81% field goal percentage made, which we like. And just last year, 2024, he had a 58-yard field goal that he made. So to me, I like that a lot. Was also a semifinalist for the Lou Groza Award, man, which is given to the top kicker collegiately each and every year. So to me, like I said, I like that a lot. I think that it's important to have quality players, man, guys that know what they're doing and guys that are familiar with kicking in, the stadium. Obviously, we know how we feel about our current kicker in terms of Boz, the Wizard of Boz. Shout out to the Wiz. All right. But at the same time, man, it is good to know that we'll have somebody that can at least, put together a great audition during the preseason. All right. So shout out to good old Ben. All right. Shout out to Ben. And yes, Stan Claire, we have a kicker. Yes, but during training camp, you don't want Boz having to kick every single kick. And during the preseason games, you don't want Boz going out there behind the, let's see, not the starting O-line, not the second O-line. I'm talking about that third O-line they put out there. When it's the fourth quarter, you done scored a touchdown. You don't want Boz going out there and kicking that, baby. That's why you want Ben Sauls, all right? That's why you want Ben, all right? So shout out to Ben. But Boz is good, all right? Boz is good. But that's the reason why Ben is here, Stan, all right? So all good, all good. He said, hold on, bro. What's up with Boz? I ain't trying to ruin your Friday like that, baby, all right? I just got power back on, all right? So listen, I ain't gonna ruin your day because my day is feeling great right now, all right? So shout out. And like I said, man, if y'all are enjoying what we're doing right now, don't forget to hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. From there, man, Rock Taylor, I'll just say this, man, we have a type. All right. We for certain have a type. He's the GPDK Metcalf type, man. Another 6'3", down the grass guy. He's going up and getting it. Combat catch. Love the catch radius with him, and he has good run after ability, man, in terms of creating yak. Not the speediest guy, but when you're 6'3", 200 plus pounds, yeah, you a big body Benz out there at that receiver spot going up there and getting it. He does that a lot. And to me, man, I like him, man. Like I said, definitely profiles like a GP, like a DK Metcalf type. And I think that that's going to be interesting when we're talking about having those guys working, or when we're talking about having Rock Taylor working with those guys and along with our quarterback scenario. You don't want your quarterback, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Mason, or Will Howard, or Skylar Thompson, to have to be, worried about, all right, man, when I come in, I don't have a big body receiver. I only have these guys. So you become conditioned to mentally thinking about this type of player out there. But now, you're not going to have to deal with that. It's like, hey, man, we can keep our offense as is, regardless of which group is out there, which unit is out there. So from a teaching standpoint, the messaging is a lot more consistent as well. And that could overall help with the just progression and the development of this offense, man, when we don't have to stylistically switch because we don't have those type of bodies, man, as we go a little bit further down, man. So that's the thing to me that I like, man. So shout out to Rock Taylor, man. And like I said, another Memphis receiver. It's funny, man. I was like, all right, we went just exact opposites, man. Last Memphis receiver we had, Calvin Austin, is like midget size, but can fly. Then you got Rock Taylor, who's big body and jumping out the gym. I'm like, all right, man, shout out to these Memphis receivers, man. Let's see if he can have the same type of success that Calvin Austin has been having, and hopefully will continue to have as well, man. Love what I'm saying from Calvin Austin, though, man. Big fan. All righty. Then from there, man, DJ Thomas Jones. Now, DJ Thomas Jones to me is very interesting, man. As soon as I watched him, I cut on the tape. I'm like, oh yeah, you're Michael Pruitt, you're Connor Hayward. Like, that's this comp. That's this competition right here. That's where I see him fitting in his role. Tight end, H-back, fullback. But the unique thing about DJ Thomas Jones is this. When we speak Michael Pruitt or even Connor Hayward, we still look at them as more receiver / to me, even with Connor Hayward, I profile more as running back, right? Michael Pruitt, I profile almost like just tight end, heavy tight end. DJ Thomas Jones definitely has that like full back demeanor. You look at his build, he's freaking 6'2", 256. Like, he's built like a tank, but he moves extremely well. His body type almost puts you in the mind of old school Michael Robinson, man. That was the Penn State quarterback that ended up playing fullback out in Seattle. Y'all see him on TV all the time now with NFL Network. Has that type of build on him, but he is accelerating to the contact to go make a block. That is rare at this time when you're talking H-backs, dudes that can actually receive, because he's actually a productive receiver as well. They threw the football to him a lot at South Alabama. He was a productive player catching the football, man. But you also see him when he's going to block, he is going to hit you. And he is playing with great effort, chasing down the field, trying to make blocks. Like I said, I was very surprised and impressed watching him. And I think that he is definitely one of those players that is going to have a legitimate chance to make this roster due to that, man. There are a lot of guys that can catch. There are a lot of guys that can play well in space, but there are not a lot of guys that are accelerating to contact, especially to go block. And when you see DJ Thomas do that, to me, understanding what Arthur Smith likes to do and understanding the physical profile that we like to operate with, that's definitely a guy to just be on the lookout for. Remember a year ago, man, we brought in a fullback that was supposed to, compete, but he ultimately retired before training camp really got started. So we never got a chance to see what that would have looked like. So with DJ Thomas Jones, man, I'm excited to see how this one plays out, because to me, I think he definitely brings some unique traits to the offense right now, man, that we kind of have been missing. All right, so let's see how my man DJ Thomas Jones does. All right. But then from there, man, Aiden Williams, the left tackle / guard out of Minnesota Duluth. Shout out to Minnesota Duluth. All right. Now, like I said, I was scouring trying to find any type of footage I could on young Aiden Williams from Minnesota Duluth, but there's not a lot of tape out there on Minnesota Duluth. All right. But shout out to Minnesota Duluth. Now, what I will say is this, man. Aiden has a decent size on him, man. 6'6". It's pretty dang on tall. I believe it was 295 when I the weight that I saw from him. But the thing that was unique is this, man. He was playing at the left tackle spot, and you see him, obviously at, his level, Minnesota Duluth, he's blocking all those dudes to sleep. It's not even close. They threw him a pass as well, man. He caught a touchdown pass. It was actually crazy. I'm like, yo, shout out to the big fella, man. Catch it, get in the end zone, man. Give me a dance one time, right? But the thing that was unique was this. I got a chance to see him at the East-West Shrine game, all right? Doing some of the one-on-one reps down there, man, taking reps at both guard and tackle. And to me, eyeball test-wise, he looks the part. But the big thing is going to be, number one, how he adjusts to NFL-caliber athletes. At Minnesota Duluth, he wasn't facing the speed, the power, and the size combinations that he's going to be seeing every single day at the NFL level. So the faster he can get adjusted and acclimated to that, I think will give him a better opportunity to make this team. The thing that's unique is this, though, man, with his size, 6'6", 295, and being able to bump in and play guard, I think that that's going to help him out a lot more than him trying to stay out there at the tackle position. Just, from a couple of the reps that I was watching, I feel like, with him, man, I love the size. I love the athleticism, but power, technique, and pad level are the things I think he's going to have to improve upon. And also very similar to what I saw when Al Villanueva was here, right? Shout out to Big Al. But early on, before, he turned into that Pro Bowl caliber guy, I remember, man, RP to Tunch Ilkin, but Tunch teaching him how to trap the hands of rushers, man, because they were getting, into his chest and bull rushing him because of how tall he was, but because he was tall and lean. When I look at Aiden Williams, I see a lot of similarities with him. And I say, man, he was one of those guys that I think if he can learn that trap move that we saw, like I said, man, that we saw Al, weaponize a lot. And like I said, man, I remember watching Tunch Ilkin teach him daily during the offseason, man, just walking around doing the hand movements with that. To me, man, I think that could definitely help Aiden out a lot. But to me, man, I just early on, the size I think is impressive. The athleticism is impressive, but strength and more importantly, his overall technique and pad level, I think are going to have to improve if he wants to stay at this level, man, because this is going to be a big jump for him athletically in terms of what he's having to block against than what he was seeing at Minnesota Duluth. All right. But shout out to Minnesota Duluth. I was like, hey, bro, I like this, man. I've never heard of this school, but you know what? We're going to do some research on them boys today. All right. And then, let's get to the last homie on the list. Good old Keyshawn Williams, wide receiver out of Indiana. To me, man, this is a slot receiver, quick slot, but he runs. Like when he has that football, it's weird. Like you see some slot receivers, man, they get that ball and it's like, all right, you're definitely still a slot receiver when you get the ball in your hands. When you're not trying to get hit, you're trying to be quick and get down. You watch Keyshawn though, I'm like, hey bro, you got a little toughness on you, man. Like he's not necessarily running to avoid all contact. He's trying to make you tackle him at times, but he can't make you miss. And I think that's the unique part with Keyshawn. You watching him playing at Indiana. Obviously, we know the year that Indiana had just last year with Kirks and Eddie being over there, and they were, like I said, man, one of those physical, gritty, different type of Big Ten teams, though, that they won a lot of games, made it to the college football playoffs. But you look at Keyshawn, and it's like you can see how he fits that mold and why the Steelers would be interested in him. He's not a quick finesse receiver. He plays with physicality, but he's not the biggest guy out there. But you see the toughness, man. It's like you watching a dude, man, that's not going down on first contact. You watching a guy that isn't afraid to, catch that tunnel screen where it's coming back to the middle of the field where all the big guys are at, man. He's running that thing and he's fearless. To me, I think that those are the type of things that can, get some eyes on you. Now, we know our wide receiver room is already packed and thick, but to me, I look at this and I say, okay, man, this is going to continue to put pressure on guys like Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, those smaller slot receivers. Is like, hey man, you don't get to take a break. You don't get to, act like you've arrived. We got another guy that's very tough, that's very hungry, that also has good hands and also has good run after ability. So I think that for me, man, Keyshawn coming in here definitely gives me a little bit of competition at the back end of this thing. But I like the fact that he profiles in a way that I could see translating to the NFL level. My big concern with him, though, is how quick is he? Like, is that speed and quickness going to translate to the NFL level? Even at the Big Ten, it's like, man, you'll see some of those guys out there that, to me, they're not going to play at this level. But at that level, man, they're lightning. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So that's kind of my concern, when I'm talking Keyshawn, is his quickness, his short area, make you miss ability, and that physicality going to be able to translate to this level. If it can, then, I think he has a great opportunity. But if not, then it's like, hey, man, at least you got a chance to have, nice little Steelers gear on. All right, shout out, man. But shout out to those undrafted guys, though, man. Sebastian Castro, the safety out of Iowa. J.J. Galbraith, the tight end out of South Dakota. Ben Sauls, the kicker out of Pitt. Shout out to Pittsburgh. And Rock Taylor, the wide receiver from Memphis. DJ Thomas Jones, the fullback from South Alabama. Aiden Williams, the guard from Minnesota Duluth / tackle. And Keyshawn Williams, the wide receiver from Indiana. Shout out to all of those gentlemen right there, man. And like I said, if y'all enjoying, what we doing this morning, man, and recapping some of those undrafted guys, don't forget to hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel.